What's good, y'all? I'm back. My voice was gone and shit for a little while. It's just now coming back for real. But I feel better than what I was. But today I wanted to drop a video before I get my day started. And I want to talk about people who cannot acknowledge your greatest self. A lot of times when we make those changes in our lives and, we do the work and we become our greatest self, and you have some people who will never let you forget who you used to be. You got a lot of people who they'll always throw in your face what you used to do and how you used to act and how you used to talk and how you used to walk. Like, they just simply refuse to acknowledge the work that you put in on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's because they hating. Especially when they came from the same place as you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all grew up in the same neighborhood. Y'all have the same type of background and all that. But the difference is you decided to make a change within yourself because you got tired of living that lifestyle. You got tired of treating people the way you were treating them and talking to people the way you used to talk to them. You got tired of treating yourself the way you used to treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? So you decided, after you had enough, that you wanted to make a change, and you did. Have you probably completely changed? No. I feel like when it comes to changing and learning lessons, that's going to be a lifetime thing until you die. As much as I know, as wise as I am, I still have a lot to learn myself. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's always going to be ongoing, is learning and experiences. You know what I'm saying? But when you have put an honest effort into yourself and you've acknowledged your wrongs and you've been working on correcting your wrongs, I'm not saying going back kissing nobody's ass because you fucked up. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and apologize to somebody for what you did and they don't acknowledge that, you're apologizing and they don't want to forgive you, that's fine. But you done that for yourself. It's for your own peace. You know what I'm saying? If they want to harbor what the hell that you done to them all these years and all that shit, that's on them. But as long as you were man enough and woman enough to go to them and apologize for what you done, that's all that matters. At the end of the day, when it comes to living life, as long as you've learned your lessons, you know what I'm saying? We all have done wrong. We ain't nobody perfect. And none of us will ever be truly perfect. But as long as you can be man or woman enough to acknowledge when you fucked up and do what you have to do in order to change that and make it right, not only with other people but within yourself as an individual and with God or the universe, then you good. Don't be out here beating yourself up because you spent a certain amount of years fucking up, or you didn't get the lesson sooner than you felt like you should have gotten it. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody gets the lesson right away. Some of us, we more hard-headed than others. A lot of that comes from pride, and ego. A lot of y'all out there, you're so prideful, your ego is so big that you can't even sit there and actually listen and get advice from other people. And then there's a lot of people out there who they're in a season of, which this is a season we always were, not always, but we've all been in before. But in life, sometimes we get into a season where you don't want to hear what's right. You know what I'm saying? You sit there and you vent about what you're going through and all that shit, but when people try to give you advice, you don't want to take it. You want people to feel sorry for you. You know what I'm saying? But until you get up out that season and until you humble yourself, I don't care who you are. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of times where I've had experiences where a lot of good wisdom that I received from others came from people who were drunk as fuck. Drunk as hell. And if I was anybody else and someone drunk approached me and was trying to spit game and all that shit, the average person would have tried to shoo them away or would have been mad that they was in their face. And I ain't gonna lie, for a moment it crossed my mind because I'm like, you're drunk. But it was the words that was spoken to me from that person. And me being spiritual and me knowing how spirit operates, you know, God works in mysterious ways. So each time that happened to me, it was at a season in my life where I was going through something. You know what I'm saying? And everybody who actually knows me, I'm already a crab by nature. But when I'm dealing with something in my life, I kind of get to myself, because that's a way for me to focus on what I got to do to get through what I'm going through. But I was at a season in my life several times when that happened to me. And during that moment, the words that that person spoke to me, even while they were drunk, was the words that I needed to hear. And if I didn't humble myself, because during those moments, wasn't nobody really giving me any type of words, you know, wasn't no advice given to me. And, you know, I was just out here just really trying to figure this shit out. But if I did not humble myself enough, and if I just focused on the fact that they was drunk, I would have missed the message. And a lot of y'all need to humble yourself enough to hear the message. You want an answer. You want the help. And the one thing about, like I talk about in my other videos, when it comes to manifesting and when it comes to prayer, when you ask for things, it will be granted to you. But the one thing you have no control over is how it comes. You see what I'm saying? You have no control over how that shit comes. And until you understand that, you're going to continuously feel like your prayers ain't being answered, or you not manifesting what you want to manifest. You have to understand that when you ask for something, or when you put your mind and your emotions set on where you're really trying to be, because that's one of the keys. You got to already mentally be there. And you already got to be feeling that emotion that you would feel if you were there. The happiness, the excitement. You got to already feel that shit. But you also have to understand that when it comes, it's not going to come however you picture it to come in your mind. And if your ego is too big, and if you're not humble enough, you're going to miss it. And then you're going to be out here thinking that it wasn't granted to you when it was. When you manifest and you pray and all that, that's a faith walk. On top of the works that you got to do, because you got to put in the work. But you got to understand that when it comes, it's going to come. And it's not going to come how you feel like it should come. That part we have no control over. So anybody who is out there who's actually putting in the work on themselves and becoming their greatest self, and if you used to be an addict and you got clean and all that, I commend you. I commend you, and I'm here to let you know that you might have people that, clap for you and congratulate you, but you're going to have people who will never let you forget that that's what you used to do, or that's where you used to be. And I'm here to tell you, I don't care what nobody else say, I'm here to tell you myself, you need to release them. If they can't respect the fact that you made changes and that you out here trying to do your best, and all they want to do is throw in your face or laugh at you when you try to talk about the good you're doing in your life now, get rid of their ass. Get rid of them. You do not have to be out here feeling guilty about your past. We all have a past. Some of us similar past. Some of us different past. But at the end of the day, we all have a past. We all done fucked up. We all done did somebody wrong. We all done failed a couple times. And on some real shit, we all gonna continue to fail until we learn the lesson. That's how it works. Until you get the lesson, you're gonna keep fucking up. And that's okay. That's just a process. That's just the process. It's one thing if you out here fucking up and not caring to figure out how to stop. But it's another thing when you really out here trying. And it's not easy. It's not easy. So, and it can be easier said than done, right? Because when you look at your journey, when you made changes and became your greatest self, when you look back, you look at all the shit that you went through to make that change, because it's tough. All the times where you wanted to give up, but you kept going. Don't allow people who refuse to acknowledge the changes that you made in your life to make you feel down. Own that shit. If you know in your heart that you a changed man or a changed woman, own that shit. And ignore the motherfuckers who don't want to acknowledge it. They so busy trying to put you down that they fail to realize they got work to do on their own self. They ain't even did the work on themselves. They haven't made the changes. The motherfuckers that's out there, they like, oh, that's just how I am. You gonna have to accept it. No, I don't have to accept shit. And that's not who you are. A lot of times, who we say we are, that's not who the fuck we are. That person that you talking about came from your experiences, came from a fucked up childhood, or, you know, heartbreaking, betrayal, and all that other shit. That's who that is. But that's not really you. That's what you became due to those experiences. So that's not who you are. But until you man or woman enough to admit to that and own up to that, you're not going to make no type of change. It is okay to look at yourself in the mirror and admit that you fucking up. It's okay. And although you may have been cool with somebody, and y'all got history and all that shit, if they cannot acknowledge the fact that you made a change within yourself, that you became your greatest self, and that you out here trying to be better, and they see the shit, and every time you try to talk to them about the good you're doing, and they want to be like, man, you ain't serious about that shit. Like, if ain't none of them motherfuckers clapping for you or rooting for you or cheering you on, you have to release them. The season with them has ended. But I love y'all. I'm about to get my day started. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Coach Jarabica Wilkins. My Facebook at Lenine Wilkins. My Instagram at Lenine513. My TikTok at Coach Jarabica. I love y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed day. And stay the course. One foot in front of the other. Because there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.